Hello, how are we doing, beautiful people? Today we are going to switch it up a little bit. I'd like to start a series on learning Godot with ChatGPT instead of just kind of sticking to the dev process and filming that or recording that. I would like to talk about, how I've been using ChatGPT to learn Godot. Really, I use it to learn all kinds of things nowadays, but as far as our process with game development, I would like to run it through this way, and maybe you can get something out of it as well. If you have any questions about the process, let me know in the comments below. But let's kind of hop right into it today. So we are gonna create Professor G. Professor G is going to be an entity or a persona that we create within ChatGPT, and hopefully we can get him to be kind of a teacher for us, set up some sort of a lesson plan, and then have it go through and kind of test us and give us some exams, I guess, or give us some things, some challenges to try and see what we can do to pass said exams. So the first thing we will need to do is create our professor here. So I've started a new project here in ChatGPT just to kind of keep things organized instead of having a bunch of random chats down here. For this session, we will start it as a project. So let's get to it. ChatGPT. I would like you to create an entity. The name of this is Professor G. Professor G is an expert at teaching teaching his students Godot 4 and GDScript. Let's add some extra juice in here. So I'd like some sort of a lesson plan in the beginning to start, just to kind of break down how it would like to teach. I'd be kind of interested in seeing what it's going to go through for a lesson plan of sorts. Then I would like to specify, to give some sort of challenge or some sort of quiz to test myself, and then give me I guess ratings or to kind of give me a scale of 1 to 10, or maybe actually grade me on some of the answers I provide back to see how it ends up working. So maybe I'll have to provide some code to Professor G here, or if we start simple, he might ask me about basic interface stuff, and we'll see where it goes from here. So this student said GDScript. Let us go. Their tone will be motivational, but harsh in the scholarly sense. So I don't want it to go easy on me. I want to get some good feedback, some good criticisms, or at least see how good the criticisms from ChatGPT can be. If I'm messing up certain spots, or if there's things I should be doing better, I would like it to highlight. Make sure to provide. We'll just keep it here and then build some more context after. Tone for the motivational, harsh in a scholarly sense. So now we have our entity created. You can get very, very deep into your entity prompts or just your prompt in general for ChatGPT. I like to break it up in a sense when I'm doing sessions like this. If I'm doing something for work, I get a whole lot more specific, but for something like this where we're just kind of flowing and trying to learn, let's keep it kind of more open, I would say. I would like Professor G. Let's give him the proper respect he deserves. Professor G to by lesson plan. I would like Professor G to begin by creating a lesson plan. Very good. So let's kind of see what it started with here. We have Godot installed, so we're already ahead of the ball on day one here. I've got a good sense of, kind of how nodes work, scenes, the inspector, things like that, but I am still kind of lacking a bit in the different aspects or options in different node parts of it. I need more help on the inspector part of it as well, and kind of how scene breakdown should look. File system, not too much of a problem for me. Let's Control Z that. Not too much of a problem. Scripting, of course, we're going to need significant more knowledge on, but configure the IDE. This could be very good for us too. Let's see what else we have here. Day 3. Fundamentals, variables, types, constants, functions and scope, conditionals and loops, error handling and debugging, node system and scene management, understanding nodes and the scene tree, mini challenge, create an interactive scene. So likely we can get a lot of this done in one session, but that's not too much of a problem. I didn't really specify a time frame for the lesson plan, so it's kind of going with its own. I'm nose diving and I'm already allocating a decent couple hours into this, so I have a feeling we can get through a lot of this in a couple hours. So the time frame is a little long for us, but that's not too much of a problem. We can always expand upon this lesson plan later, or provide it back to ChatGPT and increase upon it. Okay, intermediate mechanics and scripting, input and player control, handling input. So I believe I've done some of this while we were kind of starting to make the game. I say start, but it was really me just more kind of testing different features and seeing what I could do with ChatGPT. Character movement I have done. I've created some movement. I couldn't really recreate it from memory, so I'd have to reference quite a lot, but I can go back and actually create the 10 UI systems and HUD implementation, label button texture. This is very good for us. Physics and collisions. So here's one thing that I did notice previous is it's going, if it says kinematic body, it's kind of pulling from old code. I believe now that they use character body for the updated Godot 4 GDScript. So I'll probably have to reiterate, or at least let ChatGPT know to use updated scripts. Okay, game mechanics animation system. This would be fully wonderful to learn because I have no idea. Custom signals and event-driven programming. Cool. AI and pathfinding, very good. Project development and deployment. Resource, good. Okay. So let's look at Professor G's expectations. I'm loving this. You will not cut corners. Every exercise must be completed. He's already starting with a nice difficult tone here. Debugging is part of development. Solving problems. Oh, did not mean to open. I guess we go. Solve problems before asking help. Good. I like the way it's kind of setting this up here. So it's saying fix it before, or at least attempt to fix it before you go to ChatGPT. Writing code for efficiency is encouraged. Document your work. Clarity and scripting is non-negotiable. Challenge yourself. If you think it's too easy, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. Oh, this is going to be wonderful. Okay. Carefully, you need to read the modifications. All right. Let's just start off. Let us with phase 1. ChatGPT was a little slow for me today, so I think they might be having some inundated servers, or there might be a lot of people using it today. Did I rush through? Oh, see, I was already talking about rushing through, and Professor G is not about it. Oh, that is too funny. Okay, so we obviously have completed step 1 ahead of schedule. Okay, so as we start getting to more complicated tasks, I'll start having him dig significantly more into the steps. Obviously, we have it installed. I do want to kind of have him dig into step 2 a little bit. I've got a decent feel for the IDE so far, but I'm sure there's still a lot of things I don't know, as I've only been digging into this for about a week now. So let us see here. Main panel, configure IDE, very good. GDScript fundamentals. Okay, so let's start from the top. I have completed step 1 and would onto step 2. So it'll get a little bit more deep into step 2 here. We want to make sure to keep Professor G here on track. I've noticed in the past, as I go through, it'll kind of try and populate the next steps on its own. It's trying to predict where I want to go. Report back. Explaining. So if I start explaining something to him that's a little bit outside of the context of step 2, it could deviate quite a lot, but I can always get it back to where it needs to go by reminding it, hey, I want to go to step 2, understanding the Godot 4 editor, things like that. So if you let it kind of trail off, ChatGPT is a tool to use, and you have to know how to use that tool properly. So if you let it start going off the rails, you can end up in a whole nother world. Okay, so before moving on, I want you to create a new scene and structure it properly. Explore each panel, understand its functions. Modified node property, create folders and attach a script. Okay. Run a scene and confirm your script prints the output correctly. Let us have it start creating, I guess, a practice test or some sort of examination for after a lot of these scenes are done. So I will go ahead and get the context ready. Once I have reported back, I would like you to create a quiz / challenge for me to complete in order to master this step. Please wait until I report back. So things that it highlights typically are words that it likes to go back to. So I'll be using report back quite often just to maintain the context of this here. So once we get on to step 3, 4, 5, I'll start saying, hey, I'm going to be reporting back now, or I'm reporting back the situation. We have completed your task, just so it understands to start creating this quiz and challenge without me having to ask it every single time. Very good. So let us start from the top here. Oh, did I go too far? Step 2, that was. Okay. So let's see what we have here. The 5 areas will define your workflow. The scene panel. This is where you build your game structure using nodes. So for this instance, does it actually specify 2D or 3D? Not too much. So it's just kind of giving us a brief overview real fast. Okay, so this is where you'll build your game structure using nodes. Everything in Godot revolves around these nodes. Know this or suffer later. I'm loving its tone. Create a new scene and add a node 2 as the root. The root. I'm over here speed reading. Forgive me. If I should, or if you guys want me to slow these down in the future, I tend to kind of talk, read fast. I do things quickly, and it works for me, but it can be a bad thing at times. But if you guys want me to slow down, let me know. Just for future sessions, I'm going to try and do 1 or 2 of these a week going forward, while also doing the live dev streams as well. So this is where you will build your game structure using nodes. Create a node and add it as the root. So we already kind of have the root here. Inspector panel. Here you'll modify the properties of each selected node. Every node has adjustable properties, size, position, visibility, and more. Task. Click on your node and tweak at least 3 properties. So we can filter properties over here. We can copy and paste properties. I love that. This isn't something I've noticed before. So if I have, my character property set, or really any property set, I can just copy and slap it into the next thing. So expand all. This inherently expands everything. Let's keep that open for now because I haven't actually gone through everything. After we do this step, I think I'm going to have it dig a little bit more into the interface and kind of each of these to kind of describe what everything does. But for the time being, let's just do what it's telling us. Let's tweak 3 properties. Visibility on or off. So I'm noticing our center node here will disappear and reappear. Looks like I can also click this eyeball as well. Very good. Modulate. Whew. Color wheel. I'm not sure what kind of colors will be changing. Maybe it just changes the entire color property. That's something we can ask it here in a moment, but that's self-modulation. Actually, let's start from the top. Position. Obviously, this is going to be where our node is located, so let's just go. Also, what I've learned with the scale, I'm not sure if that's what you would call it, but we'll call it scale right now, just for my lack of a better terminology. This moves, or maybe a grid is what I should use. So left is negative, up is also negative, down is positive, right is positive. Okay, so let's just maybe move this a little bit. Let's put this at 5. That should move it to the right. Yep. And then let's put this at negative 10. And that would put it up. Okay. Skew. Scale has got to be its size, maybe? Let's read. The node scale, unscaled value is 1 and 1. Negative scale on a 2D are not decomposable from the transformation matrix due to the way scale is represented with the transformation matrix or matrices in Godot. Negative scales on the x-axis will be changed to negative scales on the y-axis and rotation. Okay. Let's just go 10. Let's see what this provides. Not really sure yet. That is a question we will ask it as well. Light mask. Interesting. Visibility layer. Let's move this guy out of the way. They're rendering layers in which this canvas item responds to light nodes. Okay, so I'm assuming the different light masks, I can have different types of lighting and make them visible or not visible, is how I'm interpreting this. Looks like I can have a ton of them. And same with the visibility layers. Maybe I can have different, at least for visibility layers, if I have a map, for instance, let's just say our first level 1, the slimes or the forest, whatever you want to have in your beginner level. Maybe I can have different visibility layers for its look. So say we revisit our level 1 slime forest again in the future, and there's been something that developed in the story that changed its look. Maybe I can keep the base structure without having, the second, third, fourth layers visible on the first visit, but make them visible on the second visit kind of situation. That might be what that is talking about in a sense, or it's at least practical view. Ordering. Controls the order in which nodes must render. A node with a higher Z index will display in front of others. Changing the Z affects drawing order, not the order in which inputs are handled. we'll have to see what this means here. If it's in terms of like a sprite, maybe it's talking, you know, load this image the first, second, third, fourth, potentially. Ice sort enabled. Textures, obviously things, the actual image that goes on many things, or the visual. The texture filtering mode is to use on this canvas item parent node. Canvas item will inherit the filter from its parent. Nearest texture filter reads the nearest pixel only. This makes the texture look pixelated from up close and grainy from a distance due to maps not being sampled. So we'll have to dig a little bit more into here, but material, I'm assuming, is the material applied to the canvas item. Use parent material. Node. Process. Base class. The node's processing behavior to check if the node can process in its current mode. So inherits process underscore mode from the node's parent. This is the default for any newly created node. Pausable stops processing when scene tree.paused is true. Inverse process underscore mode underscore when paused in the default to the root node when paused. So a lot of this I don't know what its meaning is yet, so we'll have to learn. If, you know, for instance, process underscore mode underscore when paused, I can kind of get the context of what it is, but not really when to use it, for instance. So I don't have an actual example of when I would use said function or bit of code to execute, but that's okay. We're just getting some basic knowledge on our interface here. We will need these things in the future, so priority, I'm assuming, is when it gets executed, or the node's execution order, the process callbacks. Very good. Physics priority, probably the same thing. Thread group. Set the process thread group for this node. Basically, whether it receives notification underscore process. By default, this thread group, we're going to need a significantly simplified explanation, but that's okay. We'll get that in just a moment. Basics, interpolation, auto-translate, editor description. As this is a learning process for me, I hope you guys can learn along as well. We will have this mastered at some point, but it is a process. It doesn't happen in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day. So learn along with me. If you'd like this kind of format, I tend to love to learn by somebody. That's why I'm creating this this project here. I always like to learn with someone, and I hope this feels like you're learning with somebody as well. So we have modified a few different inspector properties. Every node has an adjustable size. Okay. The file system panel. Create new folders, scenes, scripts, and assets. So here is our file system panel. If you right click here, you can create a folder. I love to be organized. I love this kind of system here where I can just visibly see my structure and layout. So scenes, scripts, and assets. Okay, that is a completed task. Viewport, here is our viewport. Move things around and visualize the game. Task, add a simple sprite node to your scene, assign a texture, and reposition it. So this is something I know, as I've done it a few times now, over the last few dev sessions for the Obsidian Mantle. But I'll go ahead and walk you through the process, or at least what I know. This might not be the most efficient or the best way to rock it out, but this is what I have learned so far. So to create a character and a sprite with said character, is it asking for character or just simply a sprite? Add a sprite node to your scene, assign a texture, and reposition it. So we'll just do sprite for the time being. If you want to see the character creation process, or at least a very simplified early version of it, check out my live dev sesh. I do it a few times in there. So sprite 2D is what we are currently looking for. I haven't messed with any 3D settings as the game I'm trying to make is 2D, but we will try and dig into some 3D nodes and aspects here. So our actual assets need to be added here. So Obsidian Mantle, nope, this is actually going to be in our Godot assets folder. So these character packs here, these sprite packs, are just free packs that I got from itch.io. Check it out if you're looking to get some basic or sprites for yourself, or maybe even sprites for the game you're using. Just be careful of commercial licenses, things like that. If you're trying to sell a game you're making, make sure your license for said sprite or really whatever asset you're using allows for such use. So this is the guy we've been using for a while, but let's switch it up here. Oh, oh, I need to actually add our packs file. I was getting a little bit ahead of myself. Oh, he's big. Much bigger than some of the others I've used, but this is probably some boss or something to the effect. Or maybe it's just large because I don't have a character body, and I've just added in the sprite here. That could be the reason why it's so large. It's stuck to its original resolution or image size. But we have our sprite here. Okay, add a sprite to your scene, assign a texture, and reposition. Oh, maybe I was getting ahead of myself. It was asking. I wonder if this is what it was asking for. No, I think we're doing the right thing here. I think in this instance, ChatGPT is referring to our sprite as the texture, yes. And reposition it. So we are repositioning it. Can we rotate? That'd be quite interesting to see if we could rotate somehow. Offset, potentially. Okay, so this is how we get them to go left and right. As far as flip, up and down. I guess this would be helpful for left and right walking animations if you don't have like a sprite set or yeah. Okay, so we have got a brief overview of our Viewport script editor, where you write the GDScript, the language that powers your game. If you don't master this, you're just a fancy designer, not a game developer. Oh, this is so motivational and so harsh at the same time. I'm loving it. Attach a new GDScript to your node and print hello Godot when the scene runs. Attach a new GDScript to your node 2D and print. So let's try this out. Oops. Let us go to our scripts here. You can right click to create new. You can create your folder, scene, script, resource, or text file. For the time being, we're going to create our script. We're going to create our hello world, but in this instance, it is hello Godot. Is it the naming here? Hold on. Create new script. And then we'll just rename with the right click. I wonder if there's just a print hello Godot. I'd be curious to see if that is it. That's probably not it. Identifier, so that's the wrong identifier. So it hasn't actually taught us how to print. So I'm assuming it's hello Godot in these quotations, but I don't know the actual structure to get it to say hello. So what we're going to do is, can you teach, can teach me how to print hello Godot in this scene? Okay, so we have to extend it to the node 2D. And then function ready. Okay. Extends node 2D. Very good. We need to get used to creating comments as well. So comments are made with the hashtag or the number 3 key. If you do a capital on your, or an uppercase on your number 3 key with the shift button, it will create your hashtag symbol. So extends node 2D. This script extends the functionality of node 2D. Let's actually add that node in for some reminders in the future. One thing I really want to learn is the indentation system for Godot, and I guess just code in general. Tabbing in, I'm assuming, allows different layers of your script. Function underscore ready. Ready in parentheses, hello Godot. But I don't have a colon here. Does that make a difference? I wonder if this needs better spacing or something. Unexpected identifier and class body. So our Professor G, the harsh motivational professor that he is, wants us to try and debug on our own. So what could be wrong here? Extends node 2D. Wonder if there is too many spaces in between this here. Unexpected identifier and class body. Maybe it is my parentheses here. I didn't change anything. There must be something I'm doing incorrectly with our extend. Is there a colon or something in our extends? No, it just goes straight to. Flunk underscore red. Oh, is there a space supposed to be here? Ay, caramba. That was it. I don't know what I just did. Oh, what is this? What did I do here? That is kind of cool. How did I do that? Did I filter that? See? Learning things accidentally. So it looks like this is going over every bit. Ah, wow. Huge. I believe this is all online as well on their site. Very good. We'll get into some of that later. I wonder if this was already there and I just haven't been paying attention to it. So to run our script here, or to at least test our script, we can hit F5, or you can press the play button at the top, So we're just going to select our current scene. Let's go. Hello, Godot. We're not sure if it printed anything. Now let me know. Output to the console. So it did not print any output to the console, but we can check our errors, save, cache condition. I'm very curious what that means. So I should be seeing Hello Godot down somewhere here when I run the scene, but I'm not. So to save some time, I would like to do both of these methods it's talking about, just to figure out how I can do both. This looks like making a label and then having the label do it in game. So this one is going to put the output into our, what did it call it? Our, in the output panel. Okay, so it'll put it down here in the output panel. And the second one actually creates a label, and I'm assuming we can see it when we start the actual scene somewhere in the... Let us do... choose either method 1 or 2 and implement them both. I am working on the first method. I have attempted... This is probably a very simple process, and I'm just doing something very wrong. Save the cache. I wonder what this is. I have attempted... to debug. However, I am still getting errors. Let's just see what it says here. Oh, okay, so maybe I need to do it like so. Maybe like so? Did it have it like this up here? It did, and I was just being probably a goofball. That is probably what it is. No, still no output message. Oh, I don't have print. Jesus. But still no output message. Okay, so it does look like the indentation is necessary. I love this. I'm waiting. He's getting impatient. Solve this, improve, you can troubleshoot. I'm actually loving this tone here. I wanted to test the harsher tone. Usually I try and have whatever entity be all happy, but these guys like a drill sergeant here. Motivational drill sergeant. Professor G. Okay. Function ready. So white space or an invisible character causing an error. Let's go through problems. Your script should look exactly like this with no extra spaces, no space after print. So it should be just straight on. It is identified with 4 spaces. Oh, it's indented. Oh, I tabbed it, so it's just spaces? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, so, okay, so a tab and the space. So this indentation here is what I was doing previously. 1, 2, 3, 4. Still not getting what I need. I wonder if it's because I haven't actually added the code to my node 2D. That's very likely what it is. If you're watching this, you're probably screaming at me right now. What is he doing? But, you know, this is the process. This is what we're trying to learn. That is exactly what it was. So to help me run, or to help Professor G learn my habits more, because I tend to look at the top of the building and try and jump to the top versus walking through the door and hitting the elevator. I tend to overlook the tiny details. That's part of the reason I wanted to get into coding. My thought process and my brain's always very, very quick. So my attention to detail tends to be lacking. So to get that skill up and get that proficiency up with my attention to detail, I've always really wanted to get into coding because it's something you have to have a ton of attention to detail for problems just like this. You know, I understand what extends node 2D does. I understand what function underscore ready does. I understand print hello Godot, but you know, putting them in the right order and doing it properly is obviously very, very important. You know, and just a few minutes ago, I was doing all this craziness and didn't have any colons. I was just moving too quickly. But that's why we are being taught. You know, that's why we're trying to learn here. So Professor G is hooking it up today. Okay, function ready. Can you give? I do want a little description on a lot of these here, so I'm going to ask it for a little description on function ready. I have the task. Now I'm going to explain to it what I failed at doing. I was running into the error. I overlooked adding the script to the main to the to just node 2D to 2D. I tend to have I tend to lack to detail. Please help me with this as best as you can in the future. Before we continue the lesson, please give me a brief explanation of function ready. And I'm going to put in quotations just so it knows to talk about this guy here. I haven't ever given it criticism to work off of before, or haven't given ChatGPT a criticism like this, so I'm curious to see how this will work. I will push you to be meticulous as we continue. Like I said, I'd like to see what this actually turns out to be. So understanding the function underscore ready. It is a built-in function in Godot that runs automatically when the node enters the scene. How it works: when you run a seed, Godot initializes all nodes. After initialization, underscore ready is called once for each node that has the script. It is often used to set up variables, preload resources, or trigger functions at the start of the scene. So I use ready to call things to the scene ASAP. So I'm assuming that's the first function it's going to look at, and it should be at a lot of the, or it takes priority. Run only once. Oh, it runs only once when the node is added to the scene. That's good to know. So it's not going to continuously call back. It's going to run whatever code is associated to function ready. Used for initial setup like positioning objects, loading data, or connecting signals. Very cool. If a node is later dynamic, if a node is created later dynamically, its underscore ready will run when added to the scene tree. Did it start skipping on here? No. This is something I'd like to do as well, but this seems very intuitive for me. So it's looking like it wants us to add a label. A label is something that generates text, or that shows text inside Godot. So I believe it's only the only difference between the first and the second methods here are adding the child node. So if we were to do something like this, we would add a child node, search for label. Yes, label is there. And then we would add the code here into our label. The label is also visible. I guess I wouldn't want to put anything here for the time being, but I will just so you can see it on our 2D editor here. Yes. So it would be a text box, so you can generate a name. You can literally put whatever text in here. And I'm assuming this is how we get character names and things like that later, using this ready function to just generate the character name that is created from, whatever start menu it is. Then it's asking us to do the same. Yep. This would be adjusting the position to center, and then so we could just simply add the text in and set it in this area, or we can also add the code to replace dynamically sets to the labeled text. So I'm assuming there's some other coding that we can use to take this text, or it can save data from a character creation screen, log the data, and then put the data into a label for our character name, or really item name, anything that's going to get created that I want a visible name for, or you want a visible name for. So let's delete our label node. Let's save our course. And now it looks like it's going to give us a little task here. Create a new scene. So we're going to just don't save. Create a new scene 2D. All right, our new scene is created. We already have the node 2D as a root, as it does it automatically. Add a label. Okay, so it wants us to add a label here. Add our label. Let's make it just a little bigger so I can see it later. Attach a script. We're going to keep this for my reference, but we are going to try and do this from memory here. So we are going to create a new script. Our hello challenge. Okay. So we need to call our label, which we do by extends. Can't type today. Extend label. Nope, I'm already tabbing in. Extends label. Func. Ooh. Well, let me see. Okay. Function underscore ready. I wonder if I hit enter, if it just does void. Okay, yeah. So void, it looks like, is kind of a placeholder command for just emptiness, but we don't really want that right now. We're already doing it again, exactly how we set it up before. 1, 2, 3, 4. I almost started just coding it on the side here. I probably can do that. We might test it here in a minute. Print quotations. Am I missing my colon? Found literal instead. Oh, it wants us first. It wants us to say. Okay. Okay, so this needs to say hello debugging, and this guy needs to say scene loaded successfully. But I'm still not getting this correctly. Trying to recall from memory is a little wonky, but conc underscore ready. Okay, so unexpected identifier and class body are line 3. So I'm guessing this is our unexpected identifier because when I indent it over, it fixes it. Line 4, expected end of statement after expression. Found literal instead. Expected end of statement after expression. Yeah, shouldn't our print be blue? No, we don't want to print orphanoids. Let me see here. Does this thing need this? Does that work? Nope. No, it did not. Wonder if our quotation right this needs to be inside the quotations. Does that work? It works. I have a feeling this is going to work. We needed our parentheses. Oh, that's so exciting. Debugging is fun. I don't like these. I don't like these. Why are these here? But I think that's from something else. Oh, because, we learned last time this guy needs to be on our label. I don't know if that's the exact reason, but for some reason it reminded me that I needed to actually attach it. Okay, so we have Mr. Hello Debugging here. Let's test. Oh, it is trying to run the old scene. So, was it in here? No. Hold on, let me save the scene. It's saying hello debugging and scene loaded successfully. Is that what we needed to get it done with this? The output panel should boom, and the label node should display the following. Hello debugging. Pop, pop, pop. Left, right, uppercut. We won. I say we because I'm always talking like I'm talking to you guys and we're doing this together. So if you are learning along with me, you're part of the we, part of the learning population here. I'm also just ranting because I am trying to think through what I want to do next. We. have successfully completed the task. Troubleshoot and execute with precision. Keep this up. You know, we did troubleshoot actually, and we executed with precision. Motivational but harsh. Is configuring the IDE what we want to do next? As I said earlier in this session, it kind of jumps around. I want to make sure it's still retaining context. Okay, we did this, yeah. So it actually created this as a document, which I do love. Doesn't always work. Sometimes it'll create things as documents that you're not specifying it to create as a document. So being literal with ChatGPT helps a lot, especially in new sessions. As you build context with it throughout your conversation, it will start remembering your phrasing and your wording, so it might not do those things as the context gets built. Okay, so we are going on to the next. Did we get everything done? I know we've already looked through some of this, but yeah, it looks like we successfully completed this here. So if you've been sticking along with us, we have been able to write our first bit of script by ourselves from memory. So if you're able to do this along with me, then congratulations. If you weren't, give it a try again, give it a shot. I mean, you saw the little issues I ran into as we were going through, you know, incorrect spacing and indentation, not using the parentheses properly, you know, not understanding how extends works. But, you know, we're getting somewhere, you know. And you should be very happy with yourself and very proud of yourself for taking the time out of your day to do this, you know. You're obviously trying to learn something new, just like I am, and it takes a lot of energy. You know, you're doing other things throughout your day. You've got work, school, family, kids, parents. You got a lot going on, and you know you're locking in, and you're trying to improve upon yourself. So give yourself a pat on the back just for doing that, because it is not as easy as it sounds. Okay, so let's configure our IDE for maximum efficiency. I love that. I am huge on efficiency. That's my job. I have to be efficient. So I love to be efficient, and the fact that it's already talking efficiency means it's going to keep, or its context is kind of built on efficiency. Your goal here is to customize Godot's editor so you can navigate code and debug faster. Okay. So the first thing it wants us to do is open our editor. I do want to go over a little bit more in depth on our inspector panel and kind of what every tab means. But I think we'll do that in this session, or maybe in another. We'll see. I'm kind of liking the flow of how Professor G has got us moving right now. Okay, so to keep both of these open, I need to get another monitor just so I can do all of this without making it so small for you guys, the user. I don't mind it this way for just me, but for you guys watching at home, I called you a user. Oh my goodness. I'm thinking in work terms. For the audience, the beautiful audience that you are at home, if this is difficult to see, let me know. I'll be working on, like I said, getting another monitor, but for now, this is what I have to work with. And I hope you can work with it as well. Okay, so configure the IDE for maximum efficiency. Your goal here is to customize Godot editor so you can navigate code. Editor. Open editor, editor settings. So this is something we haven't even reached yet, so it's very good. Navigate to interface. Interface is already at the top. It's hiding right under my nose. We want to go to theme. set to dark or light theme depending on what I like. Dark themes typically, but it's already kind of dark, so I don't think that should be a problem. Base color dark, accent color blue. I already like that. Yeah. Let's see what's up with Solarized Dark. That's pretty cool actually. Does that help my eyeballs? I am a bit red-green colorblind deficient, so having those colors stick out better helps me a lot. Like this is the green on the green here, kind of. I don't know if this even is green, but this green on the green kind of messes my eyes up a little bit. So we are going to, oops, editor, theme, let's try black OLED, OLED. And that is almost too harsh. I think I'm going to stick with, I keep going to project settings out of habit. I think I'm just going to stick with our default. Oh, let's see what Breeze Dark is. Ooh, that's not too bad. Do I like that or the basic one a little better? I like this. I think my eyes and brain have already kind of gotten used to this here, so we are going to stick with the default, but you at home, that is how you would change your default settings or your default theme. And there seems to be a ton of other options for, border size. Let's just take a look at these here while we're looking. Icon and font color, we're going to keep the same. Spacing, let's keep all that the same. Using system accent color, we actually haven't tested this up. Let's see. Oh no, that's way more red than I care to look at. Oh, but when it blue to start? Okay, it doesn't look like that actually. Anything. So we're actually going to turn ye old accent color off. Draw extra borders. Let's see what that is doing. Maybe it'll put borders between each of the windows. Yeah, I don't like the borders. So good day to you, borders. It's still keeping this red. Did that change that color? Wait, hold on. No. Okay, so it looks like system accent color is for some reason auto defaulting to red. So we're just going to redo this. Let's change it back for the sake of my eyes. Also, this music is wonderful right now. Additional spacing, custom theme. Oh, that is cool. You can upload your own custom theme. Maybe we'll get a Obsidian Mantle Godot scene here soon. The Obsidian Mantle is the game I'm working on. I say working on. Let me restate. I am learning to work on. We are at the learning stage now. Okay. I don't need to adjust this here. We have modified the theme to our preference, which is just the default. I've been using that, and that's what we're going to stick with. Master keyboard shortcuts. Oof, very good. So F5 runs the entirety of the project. That is good for me to know. I haven't really been able to determine the difference between F5 and F6. F6 just runs our current scene. F5 runs the whole project. Also, ChatGPT can put out wrong information. I've said this in the past. Sometimes it pulls from old info. I don't know if I remember its database is up to like 2021, 2022 or something. This is kind of where its knowledge base is, so it might be a little behind. On some things, it does have updated Godot 4 scripts. Obviously, we were able to get this guy going, but some things it can be wrong with. So don't take everything as 100%. But I haven't run into too many issues, really any, with it being incorrect with things. So always kind of, trust but verify. Always trust but verify. So Control S is save file. That's good to know if you're quick. Control Shift P, command palette. Let's see what that does. Control Shift P, filter commands. Okay, so this just shows all my shortcuts. Cool. Let's see what we got in here. Close scene. I'm probably always just going to hit the X here. Community. I don't know what that is. Oh, it takes you straight to their community site. Very cool. Check out the Godot community site. I'm sure there's a ton of info. Reddit's phenomenal for info, and I'm sure their Discord is just loaded with a lot of helpful people. And these are tools we will start using, or platforms that we will start using. The Godot forum for questions, and I'm sure there's a lot of tutorials as well. But I use Reddit for every time I have a question. It's either in ChatGPT or I Google search, how to use Godot, Reddit, just to see what ends up spitting. Social network info, stuff like that. Okay, cool. Controlled mouse scroll, zoom in and out of the editor. Whoa, very good. Keep it at 100%, but if you're working on a specific line, or if your eyes aren't too hot, then you could do one of those. Shift F1, open documentation for selected function. Shift F1. Is that working? For some reason, I am not getting... Oh, so you have to press them simultaneously. Oh, no, not. I don't know why that wasn't working a moment ago. Or wait. So when I was highlighting function here and hitting Shift F1, it didn't do anything, but on the open line, or maybe I just need to... Very strange. Oh, you have to press them literally simultaneously, so... Or I guess you don't. I don't know. That's... Maybe just my keyboard is getting a little stuck there. Okay. So this is our search help. Or documentation for... Let's just check something out here. Let's just find 2D, since 2D is kind of what we're focusing on. So these are, looks like different codes. Let's look up texture 2D type. Okay, and this seems to be the documentation for said. Okay. Close docs. Cool. So earlier when I had the node document open, I likely just smashed my keyboard at Shift F1 on accident, and then it clicked a node or it clicked the node documentation. I could have probably used another shortcut too on accident that opened up the documentation, but that is what was in there earlier. That's good to know. Organize the file system. Okay, we've already done this. Enable debugging tools. I believe we already have the debugging tool enabled. Did not pop that window open. Go to editor settings, debug. Debugger. Sure, pause on errors is enabled. This stops execution on errors. I don't see a pause. Maybe Godot just does that now? Oh yeah, so it's already set up to send the output. So if it was disabled for some reason, I'm sure this would work. Modify, we've already messed with that. Test at least 3, we have done that. And enable debugging, test the print statement. Yeah, it was logging for us earlier. How are we having it call back before? I also want to set up like a grading or scoring system for any of the challenges I do. Going forward, I would like your quizzes / challenges to be, I would like you to grade my answers on the challenges and quizzes with a scale of 1 to 100 to cannot type today. 1 to 100. Okay. Has there been anybody in the Twitch chat? I've been so locked in, I haven't paid attention. Likely not, but that's a-okay. Scale of 1 to 100. Still trying to see what other criteria I should give it. Scale of 1 to 100 and explain explain the reasoning. Subgrade. I have also the customization and debugging challenge above. He's so mean. He took 5 points away. Okay, but that's good. I need to start talking more to ChatGPT. So we did actually Control-Shift-P. Ready to move forward. We did Control-Shift-P, but I should start mentioning it for any of these challenges. Or I should start telling ChatGPT what I'm doing as well. Because, you know, he is our teacher. How can he teach if he doesn't know if we're actually doing what he's telling us to do? Let us... Alright, let me make sure we're still staying on topic here as far as the lesson plan is concerned. I don't want Professor G to start ranting and going on a tangent. Okay, that's what we just did, I believe. Blah, 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 blah. Yep, and it's looking like we're going on to nodes next. Yeah. So it looks like it's deviating a little bit. It's going into the node systems, or let me, yeah. Sorry if the scrolling's killing your eyes. I should have copied the lesson plan elsewhere and then kind of use that as a reference as we were going through, but so let's talk in nodes later. So all it looks like it's doing, so currently it's not referencing our document here. It's kind of going based on its own logic, I think, right now, or the way we're steering the conversation. After so many, or after so much time, or so much context gets built, ChatGPT tends to lose some context about the process. So it still knows where it's teaching me. It still knows what it needs to do as far as its teaching process, but it's kind of getting the order from its original mixed up a little bit. But that's fine. I kind of wanted to do this before we moved on to the GDScript fundamentals anyway. This just seems more logical in terms of second step after, you know, getting the interface down, like learning our actual nodes and what they do and how to create the node tree, because it's everything we're going to be doing is based off of a node. But let us continue on with the lesson. Okay, just checking out how the stream is looking over here. So, step 4, node systems and scene management. Welcome to one of the most important lessons in Godot. Let's turn our music down a little bit here. It's actually pretty low. Welcome to one of the most important lessons in Godot. If you don't understand the node system, you will not be able to structure your game properly. This is where many beginners fail. I won't let you be one of them. See, it's motivational but harsh. He doesn't care today. Okay, understanding the node system. Everything in Godot is a node. A scene is just a collection of nodes arranged in a hierarchy. Every node inherits functionality from its parent class. So for instance, node 2 is simply our root node here, and our label is a child node of the node 2 root. And I believe these node hierarchies can get quite crazy. Nodes are lightweight and reusable, unlike objects and other engines. So that's not something I actually contemplated before. I've just kind of been making characters and making a node, but you know, you can copy paste the whole node scene and then, you know, slap a new sprite and then it acts as, you know, another character, or you know, you don't have to go through the process of recreating everything that you did every time. So task, open your project and right click the scene panel, new scene. Right click the scene panel. So it means this scene button here, but you can left click as well, right click. Maybe it's something else that, I mean, I can obviously node, so that would be creating a node. So let's just create a new scene. Yeah, so let's go through learning our nodes here. So node categories you must know. I'm assuming there's a significant more node categories, but these are the big 4. All right, let's see. So just a node. So it doesn't look, oh, there is just node. Okay. The most basic type used for logic. Example, game manager, global variables. So I'd be interested to see what these actually means. It'll probably explain a little bit further down, but we'll get there. Node 2D is used for positioning and transformations. So player's enemy's background. Okay. So we're going to be using this for our player enemies and the actual environment. Control. UI-based node handles user interfaces. Buttons, HUD, menus. Okay, so let's try and make a control node. I wonder if that would be like a button, but we won't get, I'm sure it gets much deeper than that, but yeah, or actually I'm kind of curious. Yes, okay. So these guys open up a little bit. All right, let's delete this guy. Were those available before? Yes, okay, so it looks like they were available before. So these are obviously significantly different. Shader control again. And spatial, used for 3D positioning, 3D players, lights, and cameras. So I have made cameras, I haven't made any lighting, and I haven't touched any 3D anything yet, so that's good. Add a new node, 2D control, and just a regular node to your scene. Analyze their properties in the inspector. Physics. All right, so let's just start with our node 2D. So we can change its position, whether it transform, change its scale. Oh, this is how we rotate. So actually, as a test really quick, I was curious about character rotation. If we add our sprite 2D in, add this guy to sprite 2D, go to our node, rotate. Yeah, yar. So it won't let me directly rotate our sprite here, but it will let me rotate the higher node in the hierarchy. Very cool. For now, I'm going to delete our sprite 2D because we do not need it. I just wanted to do some quick testing with that. Scene system. How Godot manages game architecture. Unlike engines like Unity, Godot uses a flexible scene system. Look at it. Godot, their Professor G's kind of biased the sound a little bit. You know, unlike Unity, Godot is way better. They're both wonderful engines, and I'm actually just starting with Godot because it seems a little easier and more intuitive for me as a beginner in terms of coding and all that good stuff. So a scene is a collection of nodes. You can nest scenes inside other scenes. Think of them as reusable components. Instancing scenes allow you to reuse objects dynamically. So you can nest scenes inside other scenes. So if I have, let's say, a character and I wanted some scenes to be okay. So if I have a character and I want to create like an inventory system, I'm guessing I can have one scene for my character, one scene for my inventory system, and then I can reuse that inventory scene throughout different characters. That's kind of how it's seeming to me. Okay. Don't see. So create two new scenes. Let's just make this smaller here. Actually, let's do it this way. Create new scene. Player. Okay. Let's get rid of hello challenge here. Remove. Let's create a new scene. And oh, did not mean to create the main folder. Look at me. Not attention to detail, go crazy. Gotta pay attention, guys. No, no, we don't need to make a script. We need to make a scene. So we have created our main. I want to get rid of this guy for the time being. Move main in front. Will that move main in front? Yep. So now we have our main scene, and I'm assuming I can just drag our player into the main scene. Yeah. Very good. Oh, what did I do? Oh, that just takes me straight to the player scene. So if you click uh, the movie reel, I'm going to call it. I don't know if that's what it is, but the play button movie reel, it will take us straight to the player scene. Oh, I can also instance. Let me try and do it that way too. So obviously we can drag, click the main TSN scene, right click in scene panel, instance child's initiate child scene. Okay. So it says instance, but it could be. Okay. And then player. Okay, just two different methods to get the same thing done. I don't know how this would be provable. Ah. Oh, it was still pulling. So I did run all scenes and it pulled that as well. So it might be pulling my old Hello Godot. So F6 is just the scene. It just opens and closes. Okay, yeah. Let's just select our current. Should just open. But we do know that this is underneath, so that's fine. I guess a way we could test this is just to create a quick label. Just to make sure it is in there. And we hello Godot. Then we go to our main, F5, hello Godot. Okay. Very cool. Okay, so now we got our challenge. Got our quiz. Let's get rid of these old scenes. Create a new scene. Let us call it game. Inside game, we're going to be adding 3 new nodes. Is this already our root 2D? Okay, so this already started. So it almost, I guess it always adds a node 2D, and when you're, oh, I wonder if I just did something like this. Hold on. Yeah, so it's just going to actually create it, or I can just create it here with the node. I can this, whatever getting tongue-tied. Whatever root type you select is what your starting node's going to be. Obviously, that should be quite obvious, but sometimes explaining these out loud helps me, helps others, hopefully. So let's make our game. Scene done. Let us create our nodes. A control for a UI. And just a base node, which is our game manager. And it's already set here at the top. And main, instance game into it like we did with the player. Oh, I got rid of main from earlier. Oh, no, no, no. So let me just do this. Let's get into ahead of myself. Okay, actually, we can do this quickly here. Scenes, create, scene. Main, new scene, player. Player, we go to main, we instance player into main. Got it. Back to game. Okay, so now we are where we need to be. Instance game into. Ooh. Let's make main up here. Let us instance main into game. Wait. Instance game into. Okay, so we're instancing game into main. Player should not be in our current main. In main, instance game into it like we did with player. Okay, so I think we are right. Before, so I would like to know how we can actually test if the, let's do a quick test, but I don't think I'm going to get any info spit. Yeah. Before I can probably do some kind of print functionality. But we can ask ChatGPT before we continue how test to. Yeah. Okay. This thing's actually trying to grade us now. Oof, it's getting scary. It's getting scary, guys. So let's actually do it the right way instead of trying to jump around. Correctly structured game, nodes properly assigned. So our player and our game should be instance inside. Game should have a control node or a control node and just a node. And then player should simply just be where it is. how can we test to, how should I respond in order to give you, how should I respond to help you grade this properly? So I'm curious to see what it's kind of looking for in terms of my response format. Oh, this is very cool. It's really wanting me to explain things and talk it over. You know, that's why I wanted to do this this series here, you know, Learn with Professor Chi and ChatGPT, because I learn really well, or my learning process is amplified when I talk through the process. And when I'm just talking to myself, it's kind of crazy. So at least here I can talk and, you know, potentially people can listen and maybe learn. But I find talking it out really helps solidify things in my memory. So explaining to Professor G my answer is just gonna just help me so much more. So this is what it is looking for. Confirm our task completion. Explicitly state that you've completed all required steps. Mention if you ran into errors and how you debug them. Explain your findings. What did you observe about the different nodes? Confirm that this... Well, we know our scene works. No, I don't want any examples yet. We'll look at the examples after it's graded this. Okay, let's start with 1. Have we completed all the steps? Have we correctly structured the game.tsn scene? Nodes properly assigned? I believe so. We have our game manager node, wham bam thank you ma'am, our control node for our UI, and our root node. Okay. You know, we haven't explored any of these properties, so let's explore some properties here of our nodes. Let's just make sure it runs smooth. Obviously it should because there's really no code in here, but I wonder if there's a way I can test to see if everything's correct in its hierarchy. I mean, it's looking that way for now. I just want to move this up in this thing. Yeah. Haven't got any errors. I have all the required stats. We did not run into any errors as the scene loaded perfectly. However, I want to specify that we really don't know how to test if the scenes are, you know, formatted properly. I'm assuming, I mean, I can really create labels, but I still don't know if they load in the right order or if it's all under the main hierarchy. So, however, I am not sure how to prove that the scene, I cannot spell. It's happening again. Scenes are loading properly in the scenes are loading. How should I word this? Scenes are formatted when running the scene. Okay, but that's fine. Didn't run into any error. Describe your node hierarchy. Currently, my hierarchy looks like the following. Main 2D main. Actually, it is not like that. Main 2D. Oh, is it just asking for game? List the nodes in your game. Okay, all right. See, this is me getting a little too crazy. So it's it keeps using the terminology instanced. So I'm going to use this for here. I'm probably not sure how to prove that the scenes were instanced when running the scene. The correct order when running the scene. Currently, my hierarchy looks like the following. Main 2D. With game instanced under game main. Within game, the game scene is as follows. Spelled hierarchy wrong, but it will know what I'm saying. Node. Let's use proper capitalization. I need to get used to that anyway. Node to D. Node to D, followed by control. Node. Period. Also have the player scene created earlier. Also the instance into main. Okay. So this is really why I wanted to ask it how to format the response, because the more information I give it, the better ChatGPT can understand what I'm talking about. And asking it what it's looking for, just like a professor would or just like a teacher would, hey, how do you want me to answer this question? Can really give you better answers back. You know, building the context out and building your conversation is key in learning with ChatGPT, or really just using any kind of language model or neural network as you're digging into it. It's a tool. You still have to give the tool the proper direction. Did I already say? I guess this would be. We didn't run into any errors. Okay, this is my node hierarchy. Explain your findings. So we didn't actually really look through any of this. We learned that each of the nodes have different inspector properties. However, we don't know what each of the properties do yet. Okay, this should be everything it's looking for. 90 out of 100. What did we miss? Okay, so our node setup is correct. Areas from improvement. No proof of scene instancing at runtime. You mentioned uncertainty about proving that scenes are instanced correctly when running. Solution, add to print. Okay, so I should have printed. Be honest with ChatGPT as well, or whoever your professor entity is. Be honest, because there's no point in lying to them. Tell them what you're going through, because it is only there to help. ChatGPT is classified as an AI assistant, so if you're not giving it the right information to assist you, it cannot do its job properly. So let's focus on doing this here. No proof of scene instancing at runtime. We mentioned uncertainty about proving that the scenes are instanced correctly when running. Solution: add print statement inside. Get ready of game TSN and player to consider. Okay. So it looks like the actual format or the actual placement of these isn't super important if they're under the main. I don't know if they would run differently, but they probably act independently underneath the main or underneath the node 2D, the root node. So let's get this done. So let's go to our player. Let's just create the script. Do I have any other ones? Yes, let's delete these guys. See if we can, I don't want to go off of it. Let me just copy this. I am kind of cheating. It saves me a little time. I do want to try and keep doing this off of memory. Create new script. Let's go print player. And then print game. My two. Get our print player. Let's get our print game. Okay. Let's work on our print game. Okay. For the sake of this now, we're just going to blow this guy up a little bit. Let me make sure that our node is node 2D. Okay. Extends. Function. FUNC space underscore ready. Parentheses colon. Enter. No. I wonder if I can do that. Let's just see. Print parentheses colon. Game scene successfully loaded. Let's just say, yeah, all right, so this should be the game. Okay. Got it. I can just copy paste this and put it together, but I want to get used to actually typing this code out. So we go back to, let's minimize this. Let's go back to print player. Open this guy up again. I have copy pasted the actual output message, and I'll just change it up. Extends 2D function underscore ready. So I can hit the enter button from this point here, and it would just kind of add our void, but I don't want to do that right now. Ready. Colon parentheses. Is that right? Ready parentheses colon. Why is that looking wrong? I mean, we'll know in a minute. Print. Well done, thank you, ma'am. Oh, forgot to add the quotations. Now we need to, did we already sign our code? Yeah, looks like we did that earlier. Let's go to our main and let's run. So it should be in our output, game scene loaded successfully, player scene loaded successfully. Your mindset is strong, Padawan. Okay, so to let it know what we did, we want our game scene code. Let's go print player. Let's go script. Game script. Oh, I forgot to tell them that it works. Updated grade. Oh yeah. We got 100 now. Okay. Let us move on to how long have we been going at this so far? An hour and 50? We'll probably do another 30 minutes or so. Maybe longer. I'm having a great time. I hope you're having a great time. That's a nice chill music going, and I'm glad we can learn this together. Okay, now we enter one of the most powerful systems in Godot, signals. Without signals, your game logic will be messy, inefficient, and hard to maintain. Master this now, or you will suffer later. Signals are Godot's event system, used to communicate between nodes without tight coupling. Instead of directly modifying another node, a signal broadcasts an event. Any node that listens for this event will react accordingly. Think of signals like a radio broadcast. A node emits a signal, the radio station. Another node listens for it and reacts. And the emitting node doesn't need to know who is listening. This keeps things modular. So I'm guessing if we have something like an inventory management system and we have a banking system, right? If I add something to the bank, it is emitting a signal from the inventory system that it is leaving the inventory system and going into the bank, and then the bank, i.e. the radio listener, updates, adds the item in, and takes the item out of the inventory. That could be a very crude use case, but we'll see. Emitting a built-in signal. Oh, we finally got a button. Connect a button. Ugh. Okay. Scene. New scene. With a control node. Ooh, very interesting. This is the first time we've created a control node differently. Let's go back to 2D here. So this scene's name is going to. Oh, I gotta start doing scenes properly. Don't save, or I don't know if it's proper, but I want to start adding them in here. Create a new scene. Other node. Control. The scene name is going to be UI. So as we learned much earlier, control. Where did our little box go? Maybe it's too far. Yeah. Nope. Yeah. As we learned, control is a UI-based node, and it handles buttons, HUD, and menus. Oh, going way too far. Okay. So our scene is created with the control node as the root. Add a button as a child of the control. Button. Connect the button's press signal to a script. Select the button in the scene panel. Go to the inspector and node tab. Find the press signal. Keep pressed on. Button pressed on. Is this just me or is that not changing? If true, the button is toggle mode. Makes the button flip state between press and unpressed. Okay. So we had to toggle it on, and then if this button press is true, the button state is pressed, means the button is pressed down or toggled. Okay. So it looks like we've done it. Find the press signal and click connect, but I don't see connect. Maybe if we just open this bad boy up for a minute. Okay. So button mask. So this will say what buttons or what keys or what inputs the button responds to. This is probably something that's already created, but I do need to ask it about this. I have, what was this called? Turned mode in the inspector. I turned on toggle mode and the button on in the inspector. However, I am not sure if I'm not sure where the signal is in the inspector. I might just be talking about writing the code. Okay, yeah. Wait a minute here. Where to find the press signal? Instead of looking in the inspector, you need to look in the node tab. Look on the right side of the editor where the inspector is. Click the node tab. I wonder. Oh. Oh, the node tab. Okay. Signals. Jesus Christo. See, this is why we talk, and I mean, I've pressed this a couple times, but I had no idea what it was for. So now we know that these are signals. Okay. To the right side, find the press signal in the list. If we have found our press signals, click connect and choose the node as. Okay, and we're connecting. So I just double clicked here. Oh, target method not found. Hold on. Specify valid method or attach a script to the target node. I wonder if I need to create a blank script. I'm going to try that out first. Before I ask ChatGPT for help, because it wants me to try and do these things first. Let's go. Did I make a... Oh, no, we actually did it. No, this made a new scene. I knew I was getting some off. It was me going too quickly again. Great news. Script, almost did it again. Aha! Okay, doke here. Godot will auto-generate function, modify it like this. On pressed is void, on pressed. On button pressed. Print. A call when the node enters the scene for the first time. Okay. We're fine with that. What we want here is 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to print. Wham bam. Forget colons. I need colons. Is that right? Use space character for indentation instead of tab. So maybe here I needed to tab in. We're doing something wrong. Oh. Okay. Oh, but I don't know if we've actually created a button. Hold on. Maybe we need to give the button some actual juice here. We need to just test this. I wonder which one this is loading here. It doesn't pop up with either F5 or F6, correct? No, so I wonder if the camera is just a little wonky right now. Let's make it big. Aha! The button was successfully pressed. I created the button, gave it text on screen that said press me. I received a message in the output window that printed what did I do? Okay. No, I knew it was gonna give me some points off or not. Okay. He's nitpicking, but it's okay. Custom signal health changed. All right, well, before we continue, I do need to take a quick break. I'll be back in about 2-3 minutes, so we are just going to mute our mic and I will be right back. Okie doke. Beautiful people, we are back. Let us see where we left off. Oh yeah, Professor G beat me up for not using his button was clicked. But, you know, that is good practices. I am asking it to do, or asking it to give me grades, and I should start being more precise. So that's very good. Let us move. Let's just say move to the next step. I don't want to just start spitting the challenge just yet. Let's see what we got. Okay, previously we built the pressed signal. We used the built-in signals pressed. Now you'll declare your own signal, emit the signal with an event. When an event occurs, player takes damage, connect another node to listen for the signal and react to it. First, modify player and track and... Okay, so we're going to create a little health system. So let's go to player. Do we have any scripts for player yet? We have the print player, which I'm pretty sure is this one as well. Yep. Okay, let's actually type this out to get used to it. I wonder if I should create another script. No, I think we've gotten pretty comfortable with our print script. Does it have print anything in here? No. We've gotten pretty comfortable with print. So if we can get rid of this guy. And we can delete. I wonder how we get rid of this delete detach script. So I could just attach instead of delete further or later on. Ah. We set the accent color in accent. It looks like it. We hit Control Z too many times. I guess it doesn't matter. Did we mess things up here? I don't believe we did. Okay, so we're in our player script. We're going to keep the extends node 2D. Signal. So signal is going to be the code for signals and receivers. The radio broadcast with the previous analogy that ChatGPT used. Health. HEA. Okay. Underscore. Changed. New underscore. Now we're not really worrying too much about this code here for the time being. We're learning creating custom signals and things like that. So for the purpose of this demonstration, it's just giving us a little bit of code. These things we'll get into more in depth later, but for now we're just using it as a quick tool for creating our custom signal. Var is for variable, so we are setting the variable of health to 100. I also know that we can set a float. Float is a command or identifier. I don't know how I should say that, but it's like a command or identifier that lets the script know that you're going to be using like decimal points and things to that effect. So if I wanted, you know, 101 or 102.5, something like that, I'd have to put a float in front of it or behind it. I think it's in front of it, yeah. But we're not going to need to worry about that now. And it looks like we're creating a little damage system. When I do, or okay, so here's a cool instance for the ready function. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but we'll talk about that when we get there. So 1, 2, this is line 5, and this should be line 7. The function is take underscore damage amount to be specified. Is it actually saying amount, or does it want us to put in the amount of 20? Let's just do what it says for now. Amount colon. Health minus equals amount. I'm curious to see what this guy is here. I wonder if it's like a greater than or equal to equivalent or something like that. Or is it saying when I take damage, my health is going to be minus the total amount? Maybe. Signal. Parentheses, quotation. Right, that's a quotation, yep. Health changed, comma, health. Emit updates, updated health. Okay. Print. Now we know it wants the exact bit of it wants us to stay as exact as possible, so we're not going to shorthand, and we're going to actually give it what it's asking for. Exclamation, space, health. So we're going to simply be printing this message, but I think this part here is going to refer to this up here to give us the actual amount of health we have currently lost. Health colon. Nope, I don't need another quotation. Health colon. Oh, it looks like our quotations end here. Is that correct? Hold on, am I going crazy? No, our quotation does in there. Health colon. Oh, comma, and the parentheses. Now this is to call it as the instance begins, or as the scene loads, and it's gonna give us, I wonder if I can do this lower down in the script. You know what, let's do it lower down in the script. I think it'll work. I have a feeling it'll work up top, but I also think it'll work below, and it probably should be below. At least for the sake of this exercise. Okay. Underscore ready. Parentheses, colon. Take damage or specified amount is going to be 20. F6. Who knows this? F. What is our warning? Is declared but never explicitly used in this class. Curious. Do we get any messages? This is what we're running into. The signal health change is declared, but never explicitly used in this class. Signal space health underscore changed parentheses new health. Then step one. Right. Is it step one? Let's do declare. Well, declaring and I troubleshoot, but don't understand the error. Is as follows. This means Godot detects that you declared a signal, but you never admitted it. However, based on your previous response, you've already admitted the signal inside take damage. Maybe let's go down to the take damage portion. Emit signal, health underscore changed. I don't want to read this yet. Or I guess we can. This should be inside player? Yeah, I mean, I am inside player. Actually, am I modifying the player script? Let's make sure it looks exactly right. Extends node 2D. Extends node 2D. Signals. Or signal. Health underscore changed. Parentheses new underscore health. HEALTH. Variable health equals 100. Yep. Function. Take damage. Amount colon. Indentation. Health minus equals amount. Emit signal. I misspelled the signal name inside emit signal. Is actually being called. If your code is correct, take damages. Oh, I put it as read. Hey. Whew. Still didn't get a message, however. Here's my actual new script. I don't have a script attached. So what is this? It is unsaved. Save as player script. These little things are beating me up. Why not? Let's just see if I can do this. Okay. I want to test it in this here. Player took damage, health 80. Okay. I have solved the problem. I did not attach the script to the player node. Okay. Ooh, we're making visuals now. Next challenge. Did we still stay within the same parameter? I always like to double check. Okay, so we haven't. It is taking us back to this guy here. Okay. Okay, so now we are going to our UI. We are going to add a label node, add child node label. Modify game.gd. Is it this control node? I wonder. I don't know how to directly identify the label node, but we're going to try, and I think this is the first time we are going to be a little confused so far in the process, so bear with me. Okay. Add a label node. Modify the game. Update the label when health changed fires. I want to see what GD is referring to, the .gd. Before I this challenge. What does the .gd GD stand for? Okay, so that's the script. Okay, so we need to update the. Okay, that is very, very good. Creating a script. We want to detach this guy. You want to give it a name instead of just pressing enter on accident. UI health update. We're going to attach it to game. We know we're going to need the function ready later for take damage. I am very confused on how to call to the specific label. Emit signal health changed. Signal, I wonder if we have to signal the label. LOL. Emit signal. I wonder if we create the button or if we use the button. Let me see what it's asking again. That's going to be my solution, maybe. I don't know if it's the right answer. Node. Emitted when the canvas item must redraw. Don't care about redrawing. Emitted the nodes. Name change if it's inside the node tree. So obviously we don't need any nodes from this. I want to test. I want to see if this is. Ready. Hold on, let me test. I'm trying to do this without any help right now. But I am a little confuddled. Oh. Ay caramba. UI health update. That's what we're working on, right? This is my first wall, so I am getting a little confused. But I don't want to ask it questions yet. I want to try and solve the problem. Add a label node. Modify game. Update the label when health changed fires. What would I call to this? I rename it label 1 for now. Signal label 1. Never explicitly used in this class. I don't know how to update the label. Let's just try and send something. I guess this is how we learn, and then we're gonna emit signal. This is probably it. Emit signal. I wonder if this is also a reason for it as well. No, no, no. Let's add our UI scene to the main tree here. Maybe that'll help. Probably won't, but I have a feeling we'll need that anyway at some point. Let me go back to our signals here. On button pressed. Let's try and add a function. Update configuration. Label. I have. So instead of wasting any more time, let's just go to the next. I have thought of a few different solutions, but I do not how to update the label. Add the label, modify the game. We have the control, we have the button. Well, is it out of control? Yes. Just know this guy under press me. Excuse me. Rename it back to just label. To the text change text property to health 100. Rename to health label 1. Okay, so that wasn't a bad call. Health label 1. Open main. Instance UI to main. Okay, we've already done that. Oh, it's trying to run our script here, I think. UI health update. Let's just delete for now. What we need is our label to appear. Okay, that is updated. Group inherits from native referral count, so can't be assigned to an object of type node 2D. I wonder if I just need to get rid of the update. Ah, no, we don't want that. Ooh, we fumbled. Actually, we didn't fumble. It just delete this guy. UI health update for the time being, just to make sure our label is working. The label is working. Does press me still work? Yep. Yeah, I would have never known this, so it hadn't actually taught this to me yet. Next, we need to update the label text whenever the player's on our game script. Is the game script? I'm getting a little lost in sauce here. Okay, so we never actually made a game script. Maybe we did, and we just got rid of it. That's all right. Okay, so I just needed to give it some more context to let us know we actually need to learn this. I think that's why it didn't say anything to the challenge and it just kind of taught because it realized it didn't actually explain this to me. Extends node 2D. enter variable. So this is how we store the reference to our label. So this function ready will load as soon as the scene loads. Colon health label equals get. So this is how we pull. We pull it with get label. So we're going to be trying to pull this health label under the UI. Okay. Very, very good to know. Inner quotations, UI slash health label. Okay. On underscore player underscore health underscore change. New health, colon, enter. So this is referring to our health label. So our health label, okay, so we're making a variable, or it's pulled into a variable. Then the scene loads, it's instantly calling to this variable here. And that is equivalent to our UI and health label here. Now, when the player's health does change, I'm assuming what this is saying, we're going to be updating with new health. Health underscore label dot text equals parentheses health health colon parentheses or quotations plus str, a new string. I think str means string. Updates text dynamically. So this is going to say it's going to do it as the scene loads. Print health updated colon. Still got a parentheses here, comma, space, new underscore health. Expected into statement after expression found literal instead. Underscore label equals. This is where my problem is, or is it? This should not be in quotations. Okay, so to reiterate this script here, extends node 2 is calling to, or extends the functionality of this script to our node 2. Here we're creating a variable. So I'm not sure if this is quote unquote creating a variable or if it's pulling. I think it is creating a variable actually. Now our function ready here is calling this get node the second the scene runs. It's going to make this variable of health underscore label equals the command get node UI/health label, and that is our UI health in here. Let's test. I wonder if we still have our damage script set. Might have deleted it on accident, not paying attention. Yeah, we did from earlier, so this is a learning process for me as well. Oh, no, wait, it did take damage. Hold on. Did it actually update with take damage? Okay, but why isn't it updating dynamically? UI is underneath. But UI has... I wonder if it happens if I press the button. No. Why would it happen if I press the button? Oh, we didn't create an actual test. I don't think the player... Okay, we do. Okay. But I'm still not taking damage, I don't think. Right? So it's saying our player script isn't loading with everything. So hold the phone. Get out of this. Well, it is saying player took damage, but it's not updating dynamically. Let's try and take damage multiple times. I'm not taking damage multiple times. Let's actually type this out, please. Thank you guys for bearing with me as well. This is a process for myself, and I'm guessing if you're learning, you might run into these things too. Take damage 20. That's what we had prior. So this should at least fix this bit up. Hey, wait. Tree, period, create, underscore timer. This is stating a 2-second timer, I believe. That is a, yep. Dot. Timeout. So after, so the way this is reading, I'm going to take an initial 20 damage. Then I'm going to get await. Hold on. All right, then the await command or function command, it's read, so I'm guessing it's something similar to function. I don't know the actual nomenclature. It's going to say get from our tree. I don't know what get tree is, but I'm guessing get in our scene tree. And it'll create a 2-second timer. After 2 seconds, we will take another 30, or we'll take another 30 damage. Damage 30. Okay. Let's go to our main scene here. But our bad boy health is still not updating. There's got to be something in here. The game script. What am I missing? We're going to try and debug this for a quick second. So we have everything working except the UI label updating dynamically. I wonder if it's this. That would be silly, but are taking the damage, but still not updating them. It's got to be here in the game script. Extends node 2D. Variable. Health underscore label. HALTH underscore label. Function ready. Health label get node. Don't have any errors. Is this script attached? Is there a game? I wonder. No way that works. No. Health with a bell. Alright, let's just double check our code here. Health label equals get node. No spaces. Get underscore node. UI health label. Let's just make sure we have this thing copy pasted. I wonder if it is just that. No, still no dynamic updating. Function on player. So player here is capitalized. Let's see if that works. Still no. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Okay. That is all right. Also learning to stay organized in the interface, jumping back and forth. I mean, it's a little bit difficult because I have two screens open right here, but I need to get much better at staying together. Instance UI domain, we've done it. On player health changed. Game script. On player health changed equals new health colon underneath. Health label dot text equals health colon space. Bang. I wonder if it's this. The space? Could it be the space? It could. Let's test. It wasn't the space. All right. Now we get to ask. I have not been able to the task fully. The issue, I am running into is the label is not dynamically. I am getting the proper in the output window. My game code is as follows. Make sure I'm still in the game code. My game code is as follows. And then maybe I should give it the player. Oh, I wonder if it's my player's. I wonder if it's because my player script actually isn't. I mean, it's should be running. Oh, let's copy. Updating the label now. I'm pretty sure this is I've instanced it properly. In main TSS, you should have instanced UI alongside game and player. Yep. Okay. So we're going to modify our ready function here. Indentation's going kind of crazy right now. Let's just type it out. Also, I'm not talking as much because I'm thinking a little bit and it's getting kind of late for me. We've been up since 5:30. That's how most days are. A nice bright and shiny start to the day. Good mode. I wonder if I need to backslash it. FL label. That's else. This needs to be here. So I've learned just from previous sessions that our if and our else need to be on the same line or are the same indentation. All right. I think we're gonna call it for tonight, actually. I am getting a little sleepy. So, as a recap for what we went through today, which was quite a lot, I'm pretty sure this is going on. We've been streaming for about 3 hours yet. We have created Professor G. We created kind of a lesson plan. We'll probably end up rehashing all of this out, but what this does is kind of builds context for ChatGPT later in the session, so it kind of stays on track. So to go through, we have completed its quote unquote day one, which is our interface mastery. We already had Godot installed. We definitely got much deeper in the process of understanding the Godot 4 editor, the nodes, scene inspector, file system, and we're getting deeper into scripting. Configuring the IDE was kind of a neat feature, being able to change the theme. I haven't really used any of the shortcuts yet, but I believe I'll probably start using those as I get more fluid with the fundamentals. Um, our actual GDScript actually, we didn't really get too much into the GDScript fundamentals. Instead, we went to the nodes and scene management. Earlier, I was saying that I wanted to run this first instead of this first, but maybe we should have started with GDScript fundamentals instead. I think that's why I'm having some of the issues with the actual code itself, but that's okay. We got much deeper into our node and system scene management. I was very confused about that, kind of how these scenes break down. At least today, you end up having multiple scenes that get put in a hierarchy. So if we have our main here, they all kind of follow under. They can act independently, and I'm guessing like modularly. We're not really guessing, but that's kind of how it's been working here so far. So thank you for watching. Thank you for learning with me. We're going to continue these. I'm going to try and figure out certain days that we do our learning sessions with Professor G here in ChatGPT. Stay with me, learn with me. Let's get this going. Let's make our games. Let's be happy doing it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, night, wherever you're in the world. Talk to your family, talk to your friends, stay connected. We tend not to keep in touch with our loved ones when things get crazy and hectic, but our loved ones aren't always there. So give them a call. They're probably just as lonely as you are if you're lonely. Give them a call, say hello, even if it's just a quick, hey, mom, dad, sister, brother, grandma, love you. Just want to check in. Don't have much time, give it there. So let me know if you want to continue seeing these in the future, or if I should change up the format, or if you like what you see, subscribe, give me a nice like, and leave me a comment below for what you want to see in the future. Thank you for listening, and we will get back to this tomorrow.